Like it's like the worst kind of satisfied I felt in my life. The worst validation I've ever felt in my life. Seeing it all coming to fruition, seeing so many people finally talking about it, and yet at the same time, where have you been? What took you so long? It's sort of my big comment. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're finally saying something, but at the end of the day, nobody's really saying the right thing. We're still talking about Israel like Israel's not just an invisible idea. It's just an idea. Israel is the idea. It's the invisible house. It's the people in the house that are the problem. A vacant house isn't going to cause anybody any problems. But a house full of psychopaths and murderers and the worst people ever, that's going to absolutely cause a lot of problems. And these people are just the fucking worst. One thing you'll know, or you'll see, or whatever, is that none of them actually come on here to defend it. There's not a single goddamn piece of shit Israeli or Jay that will come on here and intelligently defend anything. Anything. You know? But it's literally because they can't. Like, if you just look at their defenses that they give, it's like, it's usually just kind of crybaby shit. And it's always been that way. They don't engage and deny and educate and try to help you understand why things are the way they are. They just tell you you're not supposed to talk about it. You piece of shit goyim, you're not allowed to talk about these things. We're superior to you. You just take what we give you. Donald Trump calling for ethnic cleansing, talking about sipping cocktails with Netanyahu while Elon Musk has dollars raining from the sky. Like, this is just insanity. This is full-on insanity, and it's like, the people that should be the loudest, the people that would be the loudest in any other situation are the Trump supporters. The Trump supporters should be the ones just absolutely appalled by everything that's going on. All the foreign money, all the money that's being sent to foreign agencies, all the attention, our president fucking bending over and just taking it up the ass from Netanyahu and company. And it's the Trump supporters, the racist whites, that are the most quiet about this whole thing. It's just unreal. We're supposed to believe that, like, white supremacists just hate the Jays so much. Oh, well, where are they? They have every reason in the world to be hating the Jays right now. And the reality is, it's not the shit that hates the Jays. It's the educated. It's the next generation. Go look at every college campus and university. This isn't shit that's protesting. This is the next generation of leaders. This is the future. And if I see it, they see it. So they have to be pretty fucking terrified. As arrogant, as clownish as they make themselves, they have to be fucking terrified by what's happening. Because there is no more blind Israeli support. Are you for Palestine? No. No, free Palestine isn't a thing. And it's one of the biggest problems. It's why you don't hear me say free Palestine. The slogan, the cry, the rallying cry should be end Jayism. It should even be end Israel, because again, Israel's just the invisible house. Jayism is the thing that needs to end, and that's what affects the world. I mean, it's Palestine is yesterday's story. What about Lebanon? What about Yemen? What about Syria? What about Iran? What about all these places that are sort of next? And then what does free Palestine mean? Are we supposed to free Palestine back to, pre 2021, pre 2020, pre 2023, pre 2020, pre 2006, pre 1983, pre 1967, pre 1948, pre 1915? Like, when are we talking about we should free Palestine? Palestine's never been free. There was an illusion of freedom prior to 48, but it was still British mandate Palestine, so it wasn't free. What do you think about a possible American troop deployment in Gaza? What do I think about it? I told you. I mean, I told you that was going to happen. I told you in April or May of 2023 that not only would Israel commit the October 7th false flag and subsequent genocide by December of 2023, or I'll walk the fuck away. I also told you that we'd be sending American troops over there. Like, what does it take to get Americans to give a shit? They're already stealing all of our money. Tax dollars are just being funneled into this genocide machine. The thing is, prior to October 7th, when the Israelis it was all just one big plan, right? They did their fake protests and shit so that they could say that the Israelis were protesting against the government. So it made it legal, because it was in a form of protest, for them to say to desert, desertion. And thousands and thousands and thousands of Israelis prior to October 7th signed petitions saying, hey, if something does come up, we're not saying it's going to, but if something does come up, we refuse to fight in it. And it was Jake Sullivan way back then saying, don't worry, for every two that refuse service, we'll send, or for everyone that refuses service, we'll send two of ours to back you up. This, like, October 7th was a well orchestrated plan. Israel bought 42,000 slaves from India prior to, it was early in 2023. 38,000 were earmarked for construction jobs, and the other 4,000 were earmarked for elderly care. And they were called supervised labor. They're not slaves, even though they were purchased, and they're not allowed to do anything but the thing they were purchased for. They're not slaves. Israel bought close to the number of people that they say they've killed, even though they've killed well over 200,000 people. Well over. But the records still say it's like 40-some thousand or 50,000 something. They just happened to kill that many people and buy that many people prior to. They didn't have like a surplus of jobs or anything like that. It's almost like they knew something was coming. And it's crazy to me that I'm the only one I know. I know there are other people out there doing it, but I'm the only one I know doing it who knows about the Israelis using the protest to say they weren't going to fight in a random conflict that may pop up. Nobody talks about the Indian slaves that were purchased. It's shocking. It really is shocking. And it's so obvious. And if you look at my feed and you look at what happened January 28th or January 27th, I guess. I think January 28th was the last time my feed was allowed to exist without censorship. Because I went from getting, 8,000 to 10,000 views then slowly dropped down to like 5,000, 3,000, and then suddenly it just, January 28th, it dropped down to less than 300 per view or per video. What happened? You can't point to something I did. I've been, if anything, I've just been proven right. Every day that passes, I become more and more right. So why would my fellow goyim be turning their back on me suddenly? Not how it works. You don't build yourself up, your channel up to the point where you're getting thousands of views and then it suddenly just stops. That's not how social media works. I'll be down in a minute. I just, it's sick. It's just sick. And you, if you're friends with my Facebook page, you can see it. I'm constantly sharing videos, evidence of Israeli policy, Israeli leaders, Israeli commentary, just whatever it is. Talking about these Palestinians are animals, and I mean, it's horrific. And they keep calling it a war, and there's no war. Think about the card game war, right? The only time you're actually in war is when you and the other person have the same card. You then put down the card upside down, and then you flip over the next card. But it's only war when it starts off equally. There's literally, show me the video coming out of Israel showing destruction, showing, bombed and devastated children missing limbs. And I mean, there are videos showing Israelis. One of the funny things for Israelis to do now is to prank call people and ask for money for Gaza and just laugh, mocking the fundraising efforts. I mean, like everything horrible you can think of, the Jays do it. The Jays do it, are doing it, have done it. And what's his name? Piers Morgan. He actually interviewed somebody the other day who is a staunch anti-Israel guy, a white guy, of course, with a goofy, I don't know the guy's name, but he actually says a lot of good shit. What I wouldn't give to have Piers Morgan or any give me the spotlight. He asked him, well, what do you say to all the Jays who are horrified by what you're saying? And he says, oh, well, I'd tell him I was horrified. I'm horrified by the Palestinians being killed. I'm horrified by this. I'm horrified by that. I'm horrified by this. I'm horrified by that. My response would have been, good. I hope they are, and I hope it's just the beginning, because we are going to eliminate that cult. I'm running for president in 2028. I know that sounds weird, but I'm starting early. I'm starting my campaign now. And I'm running on the platform of we kill pedos and we get rid of the Jays. The Jays got to go. They can even have, we'll work on giving them their Israel. Even though it's stolen land, even though it's all this shit, the reality is it doesn't matter. Palestinians, we will give you the better life. We'll bring you over here. We'll give you the better life. If you really insist on living in some desert or some bullshit, then we'll move you out to Arizona. But all the Jays in this country need to get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Dual Israeli citizens, anything. You have anything that has to do with Jay, you're gone. You want to belong to that horrible cult, then you get the fuck out of here. Because that cult needs to go. Like I say, It's just such a weird thing to be so right. To have been such a pariah and such an outcast for all of these years. And now for it to all be validated. For it to all be this big, I told you so. You know, I told you motherfuckers this would happen. I told you guys Trump would win. And I told you that whatever was happening with Israel and Palestine, well, with Palestine, because there is no Israel, whatever was happening was going to get exponentially worse under Trump. I told you guys. There was no, you know, I wasn't like, maybe Kamala will win. Nope. I told you. The worst fucking people in the world. The absolute worst people in the world. And I just can't even.
Who?
The Israelis.
Oh. No,
Who?
I have a different name for that title.
The Jays. The piece of shit
No.
Jays.
No, her initials are AS. That's the worst person in the world. Sorry. They're a close second.
Yeah. She's talking about my aunt and my aunt being a piece of shit, because she is. And I'd love for her to see my video.
I've met shit that I like better, honestly.
Yeah. I'd love to hear how she can. It just doesn't matter. And the reality is, she's not the worst person in the world. She's a horrible person, but she's not committing genocide. She doesn't support the cutting and sucking of baby penises. Well, it kind of does. Because everybody that supports Israel supports that shit. These people are...
And she does support Israel.
I know. And she's a piece of shit. I mean, it really does come down to it. Like, it's one of these things where it's like, there's no beating around the bush here. You could be the sweetest, cutest old lady. You could be, you know, I work in the church. I'm a nun. I help all the children, yada, yada, yada. If you support Israel, you're a piece of absolute dog shit. You are just a fucking horrible piece of shit. That goes for any of my family, any of my friends, anybody I know. I don't care. My father-in-law could be like, well, I support Israel. And I'd be like, I'm sorry, but you're a piece of shit. We are talking about... I mean, I can't even imagine.
Speaking of which,
what the fuck everybody is talking about. I just can't. What are you even? What is it? What are you supporting? Like, other than saying, yeah, I'm a horrible piece of shit. What are you supporting? You have the you know, I have the fucking troll on here. The Israeli, the dumb fucking Israeli piece of shit troll. Pedo. Disgusting pedo piece of shit. And, you know, they have nothing to say. I'm the bad crazy guy because I don't support genocide and pedophilia like they do. You know, it's horrendous, and I think so many of you really don't know. You've insulated yourself. You're not seeing these things come through your feed. That's why I share as much as I do. I know my shit's all shadow banned, and most people aren't going to see it, but some will. Some will. Ban them. Absolutely. I'm running for president in 2028, and I'm running on the platform that we eliminate the cult. It is like, this is the part where it's like, I'd love to be able to have a reasonable discussion, argument with somebody, debate, whatever. They are a cult. Show me how I'm wrong. Ban them in the chat. Why? They provide the fucking, they provide the example. Look, if I was wrong, these same idiots would come on here and tell me what I'm wrong about. Instead, they come on here and talk about everything else, basically saying, well, you're right about what you're saying, but I don't like your haircut, or I don't like your beard, or whatever it may be. They're essentially, validating everything I'm saying by their stupidity. They're valuable to me. They don't bother me. Why would I ban people in it? The only time you get banned is if you start using pedo stuff. You start flying the pedo Israeli flag. You start whatever it takes. If you want to get banned, call the pedo and banned. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. But you're a piece of shit and you know it. You know it. That's why you won't engage in a proper discussion about it. You know you have no argument. Literally nothing. You can't say anything. How can anyone begin to justify, support, anything that has to do with them? No, it's that they can agree the state of Israel is doing it, but not all Jays. No, all of them. They are all a fucking disgusting cult. Look, just because they might not be necessarily pulling the trigger in Israel doesn't mean they don't support Israel. Doesn't mean they don't call you a goyim when you're not looking. Doesn't mean they don't support the cutting and sucking of baby penises. Doesn't mean they don't support the building of mikvahs because women's vaginas are disgusting. Any idea, any support for Israel whatsoever is terroristic piece of shit support. And just the acknowledgement of I belong to this cult. It is a cult. You tell me how it's anything other than a cult. Notice how I directly called somebody a pedo and a genocidal piece of shit, and they didn't respond with anything other than look up the Electoral College. They don't deny it because they can't. Can't deny it. He can't deny that he doesn't fuck with children. They do. They're fucking pieces of shit. Disgusting pieces of shit. Like, it's like you just don't know, I guess. But the bris that all of them fucking participate in, most of those are involve cutting and sucking. They've just downplayed it to try to make it seem, oh no, that doesn't happen as much as it happens more than once, right? Yeah, it's wrong. It's got to go. I'd love for somebody to tell me what I'm wrong about here. Somebody come and tell me why anything is okay. What? Because they wrote a fucking Bible and they tell you that you have to think this way or that way? No, you don't. Even if you did deny it, it's too late. The fact that you're more focused on being stupid than denying being a pedo says everything. Normal people don't take well to that. Yeah, bud.
Out of nowhere, out of the blue, Nick just called me the N-word.
Okay, and you're telling because...
Oh my God, excuse me. No.
Oh, Jesus. You're making a big deal out of it. For what? Dumb girl. Do all Jays practice those things? Because I think some of all people do weird shit. They all support it. Whether they practice it or not, they support it. They support it. Well, you can't tell the other... We don't practice that, but you can't tell the other Jays not to do it. It's like Christians. The reason the church continuously rapes children and gets away with it is because of the average Christian, not just the fucking perpetrators. It's the average Christian who provides the support, who provides the blind shielding, the blind protection that somehow those are God men. Those are higher than we are, so we have to allow them to do whatever. Like it's really fucking insane. Yeah. I love when people don't know what words mean, so they use them incorrectly. There's no ad hominem going on here. I'm attacking you for what you are, a piece of shit, pedophile, genocide supporter. You can deny it, but you're not going to be very good at it because, you're a piece of shit, dumb pedophile supporter. That's what you are. Yeah, okay. See? Dumb Jays. Dumb Jays with their childish mentality. That's all they can do. No, that's what you are. Like, even if that was true, you're not denying that it's you, though, right? And that says everything. And that's the attention that you get. You got your attention. You got acknowledged for being the piece of shit pedo that you are. And the thing I always love is like, so I guess they're insulting me by calling me a J.
But if
Like
they support them, how is that an insult?
Right. That's the thing.
You?
Right. That's the thing. That's how you know how stupid they are. You're gonna call me the thing that I'm saying is the worst, and I guess you support, but you're doing it like no, you're the J. Like it. I'm supposed to go no, 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 no. If I was a J, it would make everything I'm saying that much more powerful.
Food's getting, that doesn't last long.
I mean, think about it. I don't even have the title, the normal title. And instead of coming on here to deny pedophilia, to, talk bad about genocide or anything like that, you even have dumbasses who normally hide behind, oh, well, that's the title of the video. Not even the title of the video. And they're still trying to do everything they can to dissuade us from talking about this. Trying to get us to talk about something else because this random American profile doesn't want me talking about the Jays, huh? You see what I mean? It's legendary stupid. And it's obvious. It's like it's dumb Jays. The Jays who say if you open up the books on Israel, you demonize Israel, thinking that that's like, we'll show you, instead of realizing that they're acknowledging that what they do is so horrible that if you look into it, it demonizes them. That's how stupid these fucking people are. I'm here too late. 80 days of school thought. Yeah. What the fuck does that even mean? What's up, Matt the Visionary? Yeah. It's not like I don't understand what you asked. It's like you're too stupid to understand the point. Why would you talk about something that's not being talked about? Why wouldn't you talk about what's being talked about? Whether or not I believe in submarines pales in comparison to the fact that the Jays are disgusting, horrible people who are committing genocide right now while they've been raping children this whole time through CPS and Hollywood and all that shit. Like it's really obvious. And for those that don't get it, like I'm proud. I am proud of my anti-Semitism. Anybody wants to call me anti-Semitic, well, I'm going to take offense to that because I'm not a racist piece of shit. The Palestinians are Semitic. the Iranians, the Egyptians, the Northern African, you know, the Yemeni, the Lebanese. These are all Semitic people. The Jays might think they own everything, but they don't own that word. Semitism, on the other hand, means a policy or predisposition favorable to Jays. Essentially, Jay supremacy. So I'm very proud of being anti-Jay supremacy. Plotting over, take over the world. I mean, look at these dumb comments. Just admit you can't. This conversation is above your pay grade. You know, you're just not smart enough to have the conversation. Then you say all the shit you want, but just be honest and admit it about yourself. You're fucking stupid. It's pretty simple. What is this question you're answering? Because there's, why won't you answer me? It's an easy question. Yes or no?
Getting a new couch.
Oh. Oh, what question are you talking about? You know, you guys are just, you're a horrible, like, if I wasn't right about you being a piece of shit, you would do other things. You would constantly try to come here and convince me that, oh, I'm wrong, you're not a piece of shit. You wouldn't care about what some random guy on YouTube has to say. If it wasn't true, you wouldn't be back here every day, no matter what time I go live. Yeah, I'm projecting hard. See, I mean, look at this. Look at the desperation it takes to say stupid things. I'm not capable or prepared to have the conversation I'm having. Gosh, yeah, that's a good argument, right? It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing that such a shitty, stupid people, that we're losing to these horrible, stupid people. You think I'm frustrated? Like, again, can you imagine, like, I'm so important to you that you want some sort of something, you want to feel like you affect me. So you have to tell yourself you're frustrating me and all this other shit. I've already said I could have blocked you a long fucking time ago. You provide a fantastic example of what I'm talking about. I couldn't pay somebody to come here and be as dumb as you. Just won't answer my question. What the fuck question are you talking about? Dude, how many times? Dude, how do you not see my question? It's in here like 1,000 times. Obviously I'm reading your shit. Right? It's amazing, man. You know? Like when the trolls important, you have nothing going on. It's Friday night at 8 o'clock, and you're on my feed. You were on here earlier today when I was on. You'll be here tomorrow because I'm not important. All right. If I'm not important and I'm everything to you, and you're desperately trying to make yourself feel, oh, I affected him, I got him frustrated. Yeah, that says a lot for me. Yeah, if you actually had a question, you just ask it again. Pretty simple. Pretty fucking simple. I mean, I just, at this point, if you're doing anything other than supporting me, you're a piece of shit. I mean, I don't need to convince anybody of anything. You're doing a great job at it. You know, the ace guy, that's a fucking pedophile. That dude fucks with children. That dude rapes children and supports it while also supporting genocide. Like, that's a horrible, horrible human being.
There are so many pedophiles that walk among us that we just don't even know. Like, there's this dude that we know, and I thought it was pretty cool. Like, he has tattoos all over him. He was a biker. He still is a biker in a really scary biker gang, actually. Um, and I was looking at his legs one day, the tattoos on his legs, and a lot of them looked like really juvenile and elementary. And I asked him, I said, what are those? And they were all, he had his different nieces and nephews do their little drawings when they were kids. And then he had a lot of those little drawings turned into tattoos. And at first we were all like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then, I thought about it and I'm like, that's actually kind of weird. And then I found out that he had diddled some of his nieces or nephews, specifically, not nieces, nephews, when they were younger. And then I realized, holy fuck, he gets those, that.
Trophies.
That's fucking gross.
He relives it every time he looks at those pictures.
Those are like his
trophies.
Token.
They're trophies.
Yeah. Oh.
That's what they do.
Fucking gross.
I was watching Gordon Flowers yesterday, and it was actually, they were here in Michigan. They busted a guy in Roseville, pedo catchers.
Oh, he's a Chris, what's his name? Handsome type.
Yeah. And the one guy, they had him in the house, and you could tell, like they set it up so he thought he was gonna get. He was talking about how he was, he wants to start like a pedo family, where there's anytime he wants to, he can just walk up and start banging whatever and all this shit. But they were like, so what do you want to do? And he's like, well, I don't know. We'll start by playing strip poker, and then we'll go on to truth or dare. And he's like 60 something. It's like, if I was with some chicks at 46 years old, strip poker and truth or dare would be the last things I. But that's what you play when you're a kid. Those are your dumb kid games, and that just shows that mentality sticks with them.
Girl, said, Uncle so and so, how come my drawings aren't on there? And she's an amazing artist. And he's like, well, baby, you haven't drawn me one yet. Draw me a picture. I'll get it put on me. And he didn't point out any of the females that he has the drawings of. You know what I mean? He didn't mean that. He just said that to make her feel better at the moment.
Of course. Because they hide. They're chameleons.
Oh my God.
They hide in daytime. But the thing is...
And you would never know.
Well, you would. That's the thing. It's like these pedos on here, right? If you allow them to exist, you see it. Whereas, on here, if I bring up pedo stuff, non-pedos are like, yeah, fuck those guys. They need to die, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. You bring it up in general real life. Most people are like, yeah, fuck everybody that, those people.
Group,
right.
They need to fucking die. They should be dead.
But then you get the people on here that talk about everything but, that try to get the subject to change. And if you're not paying attention, you won't notice that. But it's like the reason why pedos don't hang out and about, because if I'm out with my wife and we go somewhere, she's gotten used to the fact that if a hot chick with her titties walks by, I'm gonna be like, see them titties? Same thing if a good looking dude walks by, I'll be like, damn, that's a good looking dude.
Most of the time I don't notice.
Right. But you see that shit, right? You know, a dude is going to look at girls that walk by and doing that kind of shit. A pedo is going to look at kids. And you'll catch him. That's why he can't hang out with you. Because you'll catch him doing that kind of shit.
It's not always the sweet, innocent, oh, look, he's really good with kids.
Well, even a dude in our neighborhood who used to hang out with another dude in our neighborhood. And the other dude ended up catching him he figured it out one day. He was like, how come every time the kids come out, you stand in front of the window and watch, or you come out, but only when it's the little boy. How come you don't have any interest in the little girl? And it started a big tiff between them and whatnot. But it was like, if you just if you allow them to exist, they will out themselves.
I wonder if he thought that he was safe. Oh, he was in prison. He's safe.
Yeah, right. Let's talk about Epstein and his islands. Well, let's talk about the dead guy.
Why?
Right? The dead guy.
Is his island still a working place?
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, the list and all that shit, the well-doctored list. Let's talk about the 2020 rape case that Trump and Epstein were in together that just got disappeared because of COVID. If you're going to talk about Epstein, then you have to talk about Trump. And it's just so shocking. It's so shocking how Trump's racism seemingly overrides people's common sense. Because they have such an open racist in office and everybody's so fucking racist, they're overlooking the fact that this guy was best buddies with Epstein and then covered up his death. There's a reason why, you know, we didn't get this list until the next Trump term. And it's because the play, the show that is government, you know, the Trump episode was written to be one thing. He only knew how to go against a woman. He couldn't beat a man in a presidency. He couldn't even compete with a man in a presidency. You know? Immediately the border is a big issue again for some reason. Just out of the blue, all of a sudden we're in all this danger. You know, pipeline and all the exact same narratives that were brought up the first time, because the Jays that control the Hollywood perspective that we have, they wrote Trump's character and narrative to be one thing. Who I don't think right now. Jesus Christ, why even bother? She didn't say she knew a cool pedo biker, you jackass. Hey, that's why you were facing 20 years for messing with a kid. Really? Again, I love when these dumbasses say these dumb things. Prove it. You tell me what I'm supposed to look up that will show me my charges, show me my whatever, and I'll read it on here. You don't have anything, so you desperately say, oh, it's facing 20 years. Yep, facing 20 years in prison. But this is, you know, I'll embrace it. You piece of shit. You know. And the thing is, you know, show me all the pedos that are outwardly calling for the elimination of pedos. But this is the desperation that just comes through all the time. Hey, when I'm in my family, I'm the only grandson, and I'm always babysitting with my 10 cousins. Does that make me a pedo? If you have to ask whether you're a pedo, you're a fucking pedo. Like pedo stuff is no joke. Pedo stuff to non-pedos, there's no funny there. There's no leeway there. It's just what it is. And it's disgusting and it needs to go. Yeah, I didn't deny it. Okay. Look at the desperation. Just desperation. Because again, they're not coming on here and saying, yeah, fuck those pedos. They need to die. We need to figure out a way to get them, blah, blah. They don't say anything like that. They're just trying to like put on they say it after the fact because they didn't think to say it to begin with. You know, everybody on here that isn't proudly saying how they would kill a pedo if they had a chance, how they would eliminate the Jays. They're pedo supporters. They're Jay supporters. You know, you're not gonna get people that are gonna come on here and acknowledge it. Yes, I'm a pro pedo. They're not gonna say shit like that. They're gonna come on here and try to dance around the topic and distract, and you know, you see it everywhere. I mean, it's not hard to see it. It's everywhere. No, there's no wiggle room here. You either think they should die or you support them. Simple. We're winning, man. It's a slow battle. When you look at where we were even, 5 years ago. In 2020, when I start focusing on Israel and the Jays exclusively and saying I'm not going to do anything else and blah, blah, blah. I was a fucking anomaly, man. Other than like Muslims or people from there, nobody else was saying this shit. Ken O'Keefe, I guess, to some degree, but he's a shill. I don't trust Ken O'Keefe. But I was like fringe, and it was shocking, and but nowadays it's everywhere. It's like when I first started talking about chemtrails in the 2008 or something like that, 2006. People hadn't even heard of that shit. Nowadays, whether people believe it or not, they've heard the term chemtrails. And their brains have been seeded. And they now, they take more notice of things because they have the seed in there. And you see people, that the Israelis were just too arrogant. And they're just so stupid. We're talking about a very inferior opposition who has to resort to the worst things. They have to drop bombs from jet fighters because they can't physically, one-on-one, face-to-face, they can't go against anybody. Or if they do, they send in troops with body armor and heavy machine guns and shit into a place with people with rocks and sticks. I'm so proud of my anti-Semitism. Other than my children, there's nothing I'm more proud of. They obviously they're made, but as far as like, personal choices and ways of thinking, mentalities and whatnot, I've personally chosen to go against the grain and to make myself the pariah, to say the right thing, to do and say the right thing, to be the right person. I wish I could spit in Netanyahu's face. And then punch his fucking face. I hate Netanyahu. I hate Bezalel Smotrich. I hate Itmar Ben-Gvir. I hate them with all of my being. I fucking hate them. Not like these dumbass trolls on here. I nothing these guys. These guys mean nothing to me. If anything, they're a benefit. But But Netanyahu, Trump, I hate them. I wish the most horrible things upon them. I wish their planes crash. I wish they, somebody gets them. Anything to happen would make it better than these fucking people existing. And it's interesting. Go watch DIRECT D. Go watch Lucius Aurelius. Go watch My Lunch Break. Go watch any of these guys that are supposedly telling secrets and doing things. Long Island Audit and all these guys. None of them get this. The only people that get what I get, I would assume, because I don't ever see anybody that gets what I get, are people who talk about the Jays. Proudly, openly. Not being distracted by or confused by any of it. Oh, it's the Zionists. No, it's not the fucking Zionists. Zionist is just a goddamn distraction. Don't fall for that bullshit. Yeah, talk. Do something about it. It's stupid. How do you think you fix anything? Grassroots starts by talking. Action comes later. But talking is how you get people there. And like I say, everything that gets said that isn't about what's being talked about is telling you that I'm right. If these fucking idiots could say I was wrong about something, if they could jump, if I spell something wrong, if I say something wrong, my math is wrong, whatever it is, they're going to jump all over it. They know, you know they're paying attention. They're hearing what's said. They just don't have anything to say. I'm right. They know. They've been to a bris. They've watched a baby get sucked on after getting cut. And they supported that shit. It's just, it's all so obvious. And it's just as obvious that it's falling apart. It's just as obvious they're losing. By the way, if you're watching, like, share, and sub. Don't forget to like, share, and sub. If you fucking oppose genocide and pedophilia and shit like that, like, share, and sub. Be heard, be seen, be counted. Matter. Don't just be another number that doesn't matter. I must have been, you know what? That must have been it. I must have been right at that level where I was about to start getting paid by YouTube. That's why they shut it down the way they did. I'd be interested. I should go back and look when the first Submarines Aren't Real video came out. And to see, like, I don't know what it takes. I don't know how many days worth of this or what it takes to get the algorithm to elevate you to that next platform. But now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. They were gonna have to pay me to do this, and they didn't want to do that. We're gonna win. We are going to win. We are going to destroy this cult. It's only a matter of time. Look how terrified they are. Look at this. Seriously, it's Friday night, and they have either real people or bots. Like, seriously, I give you guys I try to give you guys the way out, right? I try to say that there's no way there are real people here that are genocide supporting pedos like that. That the chances are it's Team Jorge, it's Israel, it is what it is. You know, these are bots. It's Friday night, it's 8 o'clock. Real people have something to do. You end up acknowledging that you're just such a piece of shit loser if you're not just one of the bots and you're actually here fighting against the guy that thinks we should kill pedos and eliminate the cult. You say a lot more than you think you do. And with that being said, you pedophiles, you kill yourself. Everybody else go to the description. There's going to be a link to the website, www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. Free download. There's also going to be a link to Hollywoodism, which is the video that they made, the documentary they made that is a smoking gun. It tells you, they're telling you how they control the world. They use Hollywood and they control the world. It's on YouTube. It's easy to look up. It's right there. The link will be in the description, as well as a link to our Facebook page. So you can go see some of the songs. You can go see the videos, the music videos. So you have a good night. All you trolls, you'll be back here tomorrow like good little dumb bitches that you are. And you pedophiles, you fucking kill yourself.